Everyone, welcome back to another video. So if you watched my last video, the video with high carb Hannah in it, where she was talking about her, well, essentially she was talking about a way that she's found, to essentially calorie restrict, and it's called the Eat Your Veg Challenge. And basically, some plant-based doctors have sort of said, about this kind of approach, like McDougall said about this in his maximum weight loss thing. But I think it's more of a short-term plan, not like do this for the rest of your life. Like these people are advocating. So you get people like High Carb Hannah. If you just flick through her channel, and she's yo-yoing, she's never really any more like fat like she was before, but she's kind of like thicker, and then at some point she's like her leanest, and then there's other times when she's rebounded again, and then she's doing a potato cleanse, and then she's doing some other kind of thing. She's eating more fruit, she's drinking juice in the morning, grapefruit juice, right? So she's essentially, over the last 5 years, even though apparently what she did like worked and she enjoyed it, like when she first came off Raw Tool 4, she started like more starch solution, right? And apparently that worked. But what I want to know is, why didn't she carry on doing it? So I digress here. This, at the end of the day, this Eat Your Veggies challenge, right? It's not really like a challenge. It's more of a sneaky way of kind of like getting noobs on board with calorie restricting. And yeah, of course, it's probably one of the better ways of calorie restricting, because you are filling your stomach and things like that. So you're obviously not going to be like struggling, right? You're not going to be like, oh no, my stomach feels empty. I mean, I remember trying to calorie restrict like 10 years ago, whenever it was, and I remember eating these like little ready meals, and it was like literally, like I remember eating it, and it was like literally like a little baby size, like the kind of thing that I would think maybe a 5-year-old would eat. And I ate it, and I'm like, shit, literally, like that was a nice appetizer. Like, where's the main? And obviously they're not going to be feeling like that on this, because you're eating plenty of vegetables. But at the end of the day, in like 2020, it amazes me that you have these girls on the plant-based diet, and they still think that calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out, and the only way of possibly losing weight is, oh, you've got to be in a calorie deficit. Like, it's just crazy. Like, the fact that they have to suffer like that, and go without foods and yo-yo, because I've never seen any of these people doing this just eat consistently every day. It's like, oh, she does that, and then she disappears off YouTube for a month, or some people do, or whatever, and then they come back, and you think, oh, she's looking a bit fuller. What's going on here? And the next thing she's saying, oh, I fell off the diet, blah 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 blah, and then now I'm going to do some new kind of challenge. I'm going to eat potatoes for 30 days. And, blah, blah, blah. And of course, it's 100% about weight loss. There's nothing else, like no other even thing there. So now there's people through this challenge finding like sneaky ways of still eating big plates, but they're now eating 1,200, 1,600 calories. And I even had a comment the other day as well on that video, and somebody honestly thought that High Carb Hannah was eating 2,000 to 3,000 calories, and this is what she said, per meal. I'm not eating 2,000 to 3,000 calories per meal. I may have the odd meal that's maybe 2,000 calories or nearly 2,000 calories, but 2,000, 3,000 calories per meal. No, she's got like a few little pieces of potato, and she even said in one of her videos that her meals were 400 calories. Like 400 calories, that's literally the fuel that I put in my in one of my water bottles when I'm cycling, and I just guzzle it down right within an hour. and then an hour later I'm guzzling another one down. So I've probably drank but 1200 calories of sugar by the time I come home from my ride in the gym in the morning. And that's all she eats all day. Now I know she's not very active, so yeah, of course she doesn't need to guzzle sugar water and like eat 3,000 calories or whatever, but surely she would be eating at least the minimum. And these women, who are doing it, the kind of like mothers and stuff, right? She's telling me on a comment that I left a comment on a video. I can actually put the comment up maybe. Yeah, I left a comment on a video, and she like came back basically just deflecting and saying that like, oh yeah, calories and blah blah blah. And then she proceeded to tell me that how active she was, and she's running a business and she's so busy and blah blah blah. And she even made a comment for the typical kind of, customer that she has on her channel, who's essentially a busy mom and she emphasized the word busy, who's working all day in a sedentary job, but then has a busy lifestyle and kids and things like that. If you've got kids running around, your NEAT, the calories you burn at rest is going to be through an all-time high. There is going to be no proper rest until the babies, kids or whatever are in bed. And even then, they're going to be coming and bothering you, and you're probably going to have to be like cleaning up 30 times a day. Like, oh, there's shit on the floor, oh, there's sticky walls, there's mess, there's extra pots to clean, there's, oh, the friends have come round as well. The friends have made a mess, muddy shoes on the floor, like, right? Oh, I've got to go shopping. Oh, the kids just came to me with I don't know, some sort of project that they've got to do tomorrow for school. So, I've got to stay up late and I've got to make them an outfit. Otherwise they're gonna look silly at school. Right? So all of these things, you better be fucking carved up if you're going to be taking on all that kind of stuff, right? Sitting and eating a plate full of veggies and two little pieces of potatoes ain't going to fucking cut it. It might be filling your stomach, and it might be leaving you nutritionally satisfied, but no way is every time we eat, we should base our meal around fuel, whether it's white rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, bananas, whatever, right? Just as long as it's fuel. And then, even white pasta, bread, whatever, base your meal around the fuel, the carbs, and then add your toppings on, your vegetables, your salads, your leaves, whatever, right? Add your vegetables on as a topping, not as the main meal. Like, I remember when I came to the whole like vegan diet, and I saw these people with these big salads, and I remember making a big salad, and then I remember eating it and thinking, oh, it's like really plain and boring and I'm sick of chewing it. And then I remember getting to the end, kind of feeling full for maybe like half an hour. And then it kind of dawned on me. I don't know how I even had the energy to think, but it kind of dawned on me, like, this meal has no calories, I thought, right? I thought I'm probably going to use more calories to digest this meal. Like, it was just like lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes. I don't know. I think I put some like herbs in and stuff, and I don't even think I put a sauce on it. I think I put like vinegar and maybe a bit of mustard or something. So it was literally almost like 0 calories, right? And then you're eating the lettuce and it's like no fuel in it, and your body is going to be like working its ass off to digest that shit, and then you're just going to put it out anyway. Like, so essentially is eating the vegetables, you're actually going to be using more fuel to digest them. So the what's known as negative calorie foods. So if you eat 200 calories of broccoli, it could cost your body at least 200 calories to burn it, but then you pull it out, it's just fiber at the end of the day. So the whole idea about eating half a plate, or I've seen some of these girls, it's almost like it's a competition now. It's a challenge. It's a competition. And I've seen some of them and on Instagram and, you know, YouTube and things like that. And they're actually eating 3/4 of the plate veg, right? Like 3/4 of the plate. So it's like almost as if, how far can I go with this? You know, is it going to be, you know, 7/8 of the plate veg and like one little half of a potato, right? So this to me is just like seriously promoting eating disorder behavior. And where does it end? I mean, are these 20 something 30 something year old girls, or maybe 50-year-old women, whatever, are they going to be having to eat this way for the rest of their life? Because I assure you, if you eat 1200 calories a day, you might lose some weight. You might look pretty in 6 weeks' time or whatever, you know, you might look nice in your bikini now, but then what? You know, your body's going to get severely hungry, and as soon as you actually give in to that hunger and start eating, you're going to pile the pounds on, because you're going to have post-starvation obesity, and your body is just literally, you're going to have fucked up your thyroid. You know, you'd be lucky to have your period. And that's another thing as well. Some girls, I'm not going to mention names, are even trying to get pregnant whilst eating like this, and they're wondering why. You know, is it him? Is it me? Like he's just had his vasectomy reversed, you know, and oh, we can't get pregnant, whatever. I wonder why, right? Like, there's no way does your body want to reproduce or have an infant inside if you're like restricting like crazy. Like, at the end of the day, your body can't even sustain you at 1200 calories, never mind a fetus, right? Or a child. So at the end of the day, right, these kind of things are going to progress. It's going to be like you're eating half of a plate of vegetables, you're eating 1200 calories a day now, right? And then 6 months' time, I've still got 5 pounds to lose, my weight's plateaued, you know, I've got to eat 3/4 of a plate of vegetables, right? And then what? You know, I've lost 2 more pounds, but you know, I'm gonna have to eat just vegetables now. So you're just going to be making vegetable soups, and then maybe you allow yourself to have 2 rice crackers each time you have a vegetable soup, right? Or you have some mushrooms because they're chewy, and it's like, I'm chewing food, you know, that's like feels more wholesome than just like watery vegetables. Like, where does it end? And then what? Like, as soon as you give in, you blow out, just like she did in the first place, right? She blew out because she actually started eating, and then of course it was everyone else's fault. You know, it wasn't her fault, it wasn't her history's fault, it was everyone else's fault but hers. So at the end of the day, right, if you're starving your body and then you eventually start eating, you're going to gain weight. You've just got to overcome it, right? This happened to me. I'm looking bigger now. I'm huge. I'm like 98 kilos and I'm fucking eating, right? And yeah, for sure, it sucks being like fat like I am now, you know, especially when I should have been lean for the last several years, but I fucked up, right? That was my mistake. I'm going to own that. And there's no way that I'm going to restrict. And, you know, which, yeah, I could restrict. I could get back down to 75 kilos. But then what? Right? I've got to restrict on, because I was even trying to eat only 2,500 calories and I still wasn't losing weight. So, and that was almost unbearable. Like, I was literally having to like cut corners. I was literally having to count the calories and cut corners. Oh, well, I'll have 50 grams less of this and 100. That's no way to live, right? Which, so yeah, it does make sense eating half the bowls of vegetables, and then because then yeah, okay, you don't have to eat. You don't have to like overeat. You don't have to count the calories and such. So yeah, okay, but it's still calorie counting, really. Even though you're not calorie counting, it's like calorie reduction. You're basically saying, oh, I've limited my calories now because instead of having vegetables as a topping, which we should be doing, right, maybe 1/4 of the plate, we're having vegetables as a main. Like, vegetables is not the main. Vegetables is in nature, right? We're not gorillas. So in nature, we'd be eating the fruits, the potatoes, the yams, the tubers, you know, things like that. And maybe later on we'll be eating the grains, you know, as time progressed and whatever. But for sure, in the beginning, we'll be eating the fruits. You know, basically the super high, rich carbohydrate foods, and maybe we'll have a handful of leaves here and there. But we're certainly not going to sit there like a gorilla eating broccoli and lettuce, because we're not designed to do that. That's not our body. So for these people eating these insane amounts of vegetables, that's limiting their ability to actually eat the fuel that fuels us is insane. So at the end of the day, back to me, you know, I actually tried to restrict, like I told you, towards this end, because people were saying to me that I was eating too much, and I was thinking, shit, maybe I am eating too much. Maybe you can't, you know, maybe I'm one of these people now who, you know, I can't eat too much, so I've got to be careful. But you know, I started looking into the starvation experiment and start looking into, you know, other people coming forward, and some people were even coming forward on the standard American diet, right? And they've literally starved down for a bikini competition, and they said, no, I've had enough of it now, and they're eating all they can eat. And then some of them have actually came through the other side, and they're not lean, but they're like a normal average kind of happy slim weight now, right? And they are just eating cheese, pizza, fucking whatever they want. Like, obviously they're not emphasizing too much fat, I'm sure, otherwise they wouldn't have gone back to being lean. But they're just listening to the hunger, and they're eating when they're hungry, and they're stopping when they're full. That's how we all should be eating, right? And not doing stupid things like eating just watermelon, or you know, because it's like no calories, or just eating vegetables and things like that. Because at the end of the day, it's just calorie restriction, and it's going to catch up to you. It's like debt, right? So literally, the people have said the analogy before of it's calorie restrictions like debt. It's like getting a credit card, loading up your credit card with that money. Eventually, you're going to have people knocking on your door. You know, we want our money back, and your body's going to do that. Your body's going to say, right, you know, you've restricted this much now, and as soon as you have, you know, a treat night, or you know, it's your birthday or a wedding or something like that, and you actually allow your body to eat, you're going to gain 5 pounds that weekend or that meal, because your body's like, shit, we need to take every gram of this and turn it into fat and put it on the body so that we're safe for the next famine. Because your body is a survival tool, and your body is just going to think 100% that you're in a famine every time you starve yourself, you know, consistently. I mean, of course, something happens, you're out and you can't eat, whatever, right? But you do that once, it's fine. You do that occasionally, once, maybe even once a week. You know, you might have a busy day that you can't eat. I'm not saying I advocate that, but for sure, shit happens. But if you're consistently, day in, day out, your body's just going to be like, right, this person can't be trusted. We've got to take the steering wheel here, and then bam, you know, we're stopping the we're slowing the metabolism down. We're turning that sex drive off. We're turning those periods off. You know, hair, we don't need hair. You know, we'll allow that to fall out. I'm not saying my hair's fell out because of that. I've had my hair falling out for years now. Well, not falling out, but just not really growing. It's like really general for the last 5 years or so. I honestly put it down to a shit diet, and I guess obviously some genetics come in as well. But I feel like if I'd have been healthier, it wouldn't have happened. But anyway, back to what I was saying. At the end of the day, your body's going to turn off all them kind of like services. You know, like I said, the sex drive, the energy as well. It's going to turn off energy. You're literally going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be like, I don't feel like doing anything. This is why people are only doing 10-minute exercises, because they feel like they can't. And yeah, for sure, they can make excuses like the gym's closed or whatever. You don't need a gym to get out on your bike. You don't need a gym to run. You don't need a gym to walk. You don't need a gym to do push-ups. You don't need a gym to do a HIIT workout. We've got the internet. We've got YouTube. There's so many workouts now. Like literally, the gym's closed, so I only did a 10-minute workout. That's an excuse because you've got no energy, and you're gonna make excuses all day. because it's easier to sit there and use a millionth of a calorie to formulate an excuse in your brain than it is to actually like go out there and do it. So at the end of the day, this whole eat your veggies challenge, it's bull. I mean, for sure, you know, eat your veggies, right? But don't let the vegetables stop you from eating your carbs. You know, eat your carbs first and then cram some veggies in if you can at the end. You know, once you've eaten your fuel, don't allow vegetables and things like that to get in the way of fueling yourself, so you can, you know, live your life. You know, do your work, do your hobbies, have fun. So I don't really have much more to say. I could probably go on all day about this, but yeah. Anyway, so leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and what's your thoughts on this whole eating your veggies starvation challenge. And I'll see you next video, everyone.